Hello students, the topic for today is integers. I know you've already studied integers in your previous class, so let's see what this video has in store for us. In this chapter, we are going to learn about integers, their representation on a number line, comparison of integers, ordering of integers, rules to add and subtract integers, and properties of addition and subtraction of integers. Now, what are integers? The first numbers to be discovered were natural numbers, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. These are also called counting numbers. If we include 0 to the collection of natural numbers, we get a new collection known as whole numbers. Now we find that there are negative numbers too. If we put the negative numbers and whole numbers together, we get a new collection called the collection of integers. We can use a diagram to represent the three sets of numbers and their relationship to one another. Now the diagram shows that there are natural numbers which are included in the whole numbers. So we can say that all natural numbers are whole numbers, and these, that means the natural numbers and whole numbers together, constitute the set of integers. Now representation of integers on a number line. The line drawn above is called a number line. From this we observe that the negative numbers are the numbers which are less than 0, or they are placed to the left on the number line, and the positive numbers are the numbers which are greater than 0, or they are placed to the right side of 0 on the number line. Now there are some more observations. These observations are: there is no largest integer and there is no smallest integer. An integer is greater than all those integers that lie to its left on the number line. An integer is less than all those integers that lie to its right on the number line. Now, how do we compare and order integers? Now, if you see the figure, there are two numbers which have been marked on the number line. These are -1 and 4. Now we know that -1 is to the left of 4 and 4 is to the right of 0. So we can say that -1 is smaller than 4, or we can say that 4 is greater than -1. Now there are some other numbers which can be compared in the similar manner. Let's look at the example of -2 and -12. Now, what do you think? It's given that -2 is greater than -12 by. Now, if we look at the number line given above, -2 is nearer to 0 as compared to -12. That means it is better placed than -12 with respect to 0. And -12 would be farther away from 0 as compared to -2. So we can say that -2 is greater than -12. In the similar manner, we can compare the other integers also. Now, we can use the number line to write the integers in order from greatest to smallest. There are some set of numbers given here. You can arrange them in the descending order. Now let's understand what is the absolute value of an integer. The absolute value of an integer is actually its distance from 0 on a number line. The symbol for absolute value is this, which is given here. Now if we want to find the absolute value of any number, we put that number between these two parallel lines and we find its absolute value. So if we look at -3 and 3, both the numbers are at a distance of 3 units from the number 0. So we can say that the absolute value of minus 3 and 3 is same. So from here we can conclude that absolute values are never negative. Opposite integers have the same absolute value and the absolute value of 0 is 0. Now there's a question which says, uh, will the absolute value of 5 and minus 5 be the same? We can say yes, it will be the same. Why? Because both the numbers are at the same distance from 0. 5 is at 5 units on the right side of 0, whereas minus 5 is again at 5 units distance from 0, but it is to the left side. But the distance from 0 is the same. Now there are certain examples given here, or you can just find the absolute value of these numbers and you can compare the absolute value using the greater than, lesser than, or equal to sign. Adding integers without a number line. Whenever we have to add integers, we need to remember the following mnemonic device. The mnemonic device is LAUS. You can pronounce it as loss, where L stands for like signs, A stands for add, U stands for unlike signs, and S stands for subtract. That means numbers which have same signs will be added and numbers which have unlike signs will be subtracted. Now, how do we add like terms? First of all, we need to understand what are like terms. Like terms are the integers which have the same signs. Like here we have minus 6 and minus 8, they are being added. So to add them, we'll just add the absolute value of both the numbers, which comes out to be 14. And since the numbers are negative, therefore the answer picks up the sign of the integers. That means the answer is going to be minus 14. Now, how do we add unlike terms? Now, let's take the example of adding minus 8 to 6. Now, both the numbers, they are unlike. That means minus 8 is a negative integer, whereas 6 is a positive integer. So we have to subtract. Now, if we subtract the absolute values of both the numbers, we get 2. But since 8 is having a greater absolute value as compared to 6, therefore, the answer will be 2 and it will have the sign of 8 which is negative. Therefore, the answer is going to be minus 2. Now, how to find the sum of the following integers? We can use the same method to find the sum of the given integers.